This isn't the first time that reserve list cards were being bought out. The craze started in 2017 when there was a fear of reprints because of Modern Masters 2017. You had all the fetch lands being reprinted. People were looking for cards that are more of a safe haven to put their money in these collectibles, especially if you're a fan and you're a collector of the game and you play the game. You want to make sure that your cards don't just go down to zero. So people are looking for alternatives. And there was a lot of new investors coming to the market because there was also a panic in the stock market. People wanted to put their money into hard assets. You know, if they thought a housing market might be crashing, then they want to find other places. Like sometimes collectibles are good. If you look at 2008, the financial crisis, look at the prices of comic books after that crash happened. They actually, the older, like Silver Age and Golden Age comic books, they kept going up in value. People saw that and they're like, well, collectibles seem to be a pretty safe place to put their money. Let's put it in the reserve list because there's, you know, the Wizards of the Coast had this policy that no other card game had, and that made it very unique, and it made it feel like it's a very safe place to go. But if you look at the prices on almost every single card from the buyouts of 2017 and 2018, they just tanked almost immediately. It was like a few months that they're on a high, and then when people felt like the market was safe or like maybe they wanted to take their money out, then there was a bit of a panic. So once people started selling their cards and there was a lot more being sold on eBay, eventually it kind of triggered a fear and a panic, and then people panic sold the reserve list cards, and it was kind of like a race to the bottom. But at that time, if you were someone who would trade in cards to local game stores or, you know, online retailers like Card Kingdom, you would have noticed that the buy list for these cards wasn't really high, or some of them, they weren't even taking them. And I'm talking like the bizarre reserve list cards, the ones that don't really have any playability, but you can argue they're collectible. You know, cards like from Homelands, Alliances, Mirage that aren't like playable reserve list cards. These cards were never really on the buy list, and if they were very small. But now, you look at these big retailers and local game stores, check their buy list now. You know, go through the reserve list cards that you may have bought recently, take them out of your collection, and go ahead and search. You'll see that now local game stores, unlike 2017 and 2018, are actually buying these reserve list cards back from you. So that means that the value that has increased with a lot of these reserve list cards recently are here to stay. This will be the new normal. You know, whether there's going to be a retracement or not, I'm sure there is. I don't think there's going to be quite the panic sale and the massive listings on eBay as there was last time. If you go on eBay and search for some of these cards, it's very hard to find them. A lot of people, they are not selling. A lot of the people, I guess they have like diamond hands or whatever, but a lot of people, they're not selling these reserve list cards, no matter how poor or bad they are, you know, from a player's standpoint. Because now we're at this phase where the bridge between playable and collectible, they're kind of shifting more towards the collectible side, and it, you know, maybe it is a bit of fatigue. The bannings, the gameplay just doesn't seem fun anymore. Like cards that get printed in sets, they'll warp a whole format like Oko and Uro, and people aren't playing the game face to face as much because of 2020. It was such a nightmare, and even 2021. Like here in Toronto, where I am, every single game store doesn't have in-store play. We've been pretty much locked up since the end of November here. So I've been kind of going crazy. It's one of the reasons why I started the Market Mover videos, is I had so much extra time because I really didn't have anything else to do when I was working from home. So the collectible and playable kind of graph, I guess you could say, or like phase, it's coming in towards the collectible side more than it is coming in towards than it was the playable side. And whether or not things are going to go back really depends on how the willingness to sell these cards that the market will have. So when things open up fully around the world, everyone's vaccinated, you know, everyone's got their Pfizer vaccine, everything like that. Once those things are coming to play, maybe the market has already priced those in, but once people are able to play face-to-face again, there might be an urge to sell and get more playable cards, you know, for the game, and then also, you know, maybe cards like Modern will go up again. But for now, it looks like we've transitioned from playable to collectible, and that just looks like where we're headed in 2021. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd like to know your thoughts down below. Do you think Magic Gathering is now more of a collectible than a playable game? And if so, I'd like to know. All right,